Welcome to this last segment of the lecture on structural induction, in which we're going to look at a second example. This example will use a completely different set. Let's call this set E. The elements of E are generating according to the following rules. The first rule, R1, is the only base rule in that definition. It says the empty string is in E. So E is going to be a set of strings. The first rule only adds the empty string into that set. And then we're going to use the concatenation operator, denoted by the symbol plus, to build longer strings to be added to the set. So the first inductive rule says that if the string S is already in E, then we can build a new string obtained by concatenating the single character string A to S and concatenating that to, again, the single character string A, and the resulting string is added to set E. Now, in this definition, there's a second inductive rule that says if the string S is already in E, then we can build yet another string, namely the one obtained by concatenating the string B with S and with the string B again, and the resulting string can be added to E. Then we have the obligatory fourth rule that states that nothing else can be added to E. So in other words, E is the set of all the strings and only the strings that can be generating according to these rules. So this is just a made-up set to illustrate how to write a structural induction proof, and here is the property that I chose to prove. Theorem 4 states that all the strings in E have even length, where the length of a string is simply the number of characters in the string. So what this theorem says is that all of these lengths are even integers. So let's write a proof by structural induction of this property. Of course, we start with the basis step, and in this case the definition only contains one base rule, so this is the only rule we need to cover in the basis step. In other words, we need to prove that the length of this string is even. While the empty string has length 0, 0 is an even integer, so therefore the property holds for all the strings generated by rule R1. And this concludes the basis step. Now, in the proof for the inductive step, we must cover all of the inductive rules, and in this case there are two of them. So assume that string S, which is already in E, has an even length. So let's call n the length of the string S, and since it's even, we can write it as 2 times k for some integer k. That's the inductive hypothesis that we're going to use for both of these rules. And so now all we have to do is to prove that the length of this string is even, and then that the length of that string is also even. So what's the length of this string? Well, it's going to be the length of that string plus the length of this one plus the length of this one. The length of this one is 1, the length of this one is n, and the length of this one is 1. So in other words, this string has length equal to 1 plus 2k plus 1, which is of course 2k plus 2. We can factor this out as 2 times k prime, where k prime is the integer k plus 1. This expression here proves that the length of this string is even, which is what we wanted to prove. Now you can't stop the inductive step proof here because you still have to cover this inductive rule here. Now of course in this case the proof is almost the same. It says that the length of this string is also equal to 2 times the integer k prime, where k prime is k plus 1. Therefore, the length of this string is also even, and now we can conclude the proof of the inductive step. So, this is how we prove theorem 4, but in general, just remember that in the basis step, you must cover all of the base rules, and that in the inductive step, you must cover all of the inductive rules.